What's up, board game people? Things are really heating up ahead of the holidays. There have been some shipping miracles, some delays, and so many huge new projects launching this week and month. October still has some heavy hitters left, and I still have some great videos coming up. Let's get to the news. As always, I've received no money from game companies for making my videos. Let's see how the projects currently on crowdfunding are doing. Deep Madness is heading into its last 2 days of the campaign and sitting at around $340,000. I expected to see much more from this campaign, but updates have been few and far between, and little to no updating of the project page has happened. I'd love to see the creators posting and updating in these last few days to pump a little new life into the campaign. Oathsworn is doing amazing with its return to Kickstarter. It's pulled in $1.9 million with 3 weeks remaining. Prices didn't rise nearly as much as I expected for the reprint. Their updates are really on point too. They've been doing contests, polls, and deep dives that are worth a read. Next is something a little different. I just discovered this the other day. Quatro City is an interactive storytelling wooden puzzle. They have an app that presents you with several quests or mysteries you can solve by carefully digging through the town depicted on the puzzle. What's truly special about this campaign is the creators are from Ukraine. They've put out amazing wall maps and wooden puzzles before, and now they've had to relocate to Western Ukraine and rebuild. They're rebuilding better than ever, and this puzzle will be the first item produced with their new equipment. I'll link to the puzzle campaign in the video description. I highly recommend you check it out. They're giving a real deal on this big of a wooden puzzle with this many pieces. This normally would be double the price. And to ease some fears, I've personally ordered several products from Ukraine on Etsy during this trying time, and the items, all handcrafted wooden pieces, have been phenomenal quality and arrived without issue. Please consider giving them some much needed support and getting yourself or someone you love a wonderful puzzle that will last a lifetime. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava. Warcrow Adventures has around 1 week remaining on their Kickstarter and has managed to pull in $255,000 and almost 2,000 backers. The value proposition on this game has grown throughout the campaign. They've been adding characters, more enemies, and even more scenarios to the core and expansion. The targeted core playtime is around 30 hours. I'm hoping to see a deep dive into the game app before the project wraps. Spirit Island Nature Incarnate has been tearing up Backerkit's new platform, and it's raked in almost $750,000 and still has over 3 weeks remaining. This campaign is offering a new expansion and a great spread of the previous content. Sadly, it looks like the foil spirits are the only real reason to be backing during the campaign. I admittedly don't know much about the game, but I'd love to hear from you if you like Spirit Island and whether this campaign is a good time to jump in or not. Next week continues to be another huge week for new crowdfunding projects. 20 Strong from Chip Theory Games will be launching on Gamefound on the 25th. October 25th also has Destinies Witchwood launching on Gamefound. The Queen's Dilemma will also launch on the 25th, but they're on Kickstarter. And finally, on October 26th, Cthulhu Death May Die Fear of the Unknown will launch on Kickstarter. Right, now on to the news. Priority update from Final Girls Series 2 Wave 1. US shipping has started. Canadian shipping should start soon. In the UK, the container was flagged for customs, and as soon as it's done being inspected, will be on its way to the hub for shipping. In the EU, the port date for the ship is now being reported as 10/20, which means it should already be there. Australia and New Zealand are freight complete and should be heading to backers now. The update has a helpful list of what all is included in Wave 1 for reference. They also want to remind everyone that when shipping is complete in a region, they'll start to make the game available to retailers there and taking orders on their website. A quick update from BCG and the Company of Heroes campaign. They wanted to thank everyone for their kind words and support. They've also opened a GoFundMe to help cover Chris's funeral costs if you're interested in helping out. There's a link to the update in the video description. As of October 20th, shipping for Dice Throne Santa vs. Krampus has begun. This first wave of shipments to all regions covers those that finalized their pledge before October 1st. A second wave will cover everyone else. Shipping in the US is expected to take around 4 to 5 weeks due to the 8,500 US backers. Please be patient, it should make it in time for Christmas. Euthia Resurrected's campaign hit us with a gameplay update. This update focuses on Eltrea and some of her powerful abilities, including Earthquake, Protection, Transformation, and her Guardian Staff. They also mentioned that the PM will be open for quite some time, and they'll let us know when it gets close to closing time. To continue with shipping news, Mind MGMT is going out the door to backers now. In Australia and New Zealand, many have already received their packages. In Asia and Africa, all packages are being shipped out but may take some time to get to backers. In the US, Mexico, and South America, the games are at the hub and shipping will start on the 27th. In the EU and UK, the hub should have the games and start shipping by the 7th of November. For Canada, the ship was delayed by 2 weeks. The packages should be at the hub on November 5th. Nanolith has dropped a short update discussing the semi-nude monster shown in the last update. They want to assure everyone that this is not a horror game and nudity was never meant to be a focus. They're having this monster reworked by the artist, but she'll remain as disturbing as before. The horror-esque depiction is specific to only a small portion of the game. No news on translations, but it doesn't seem they'll be included in the initial print run. They're urging backers who don't want to wait to get the English pledge. This isn't going to make many people happy for sure. I completely understand wanting to play a narrative-heavy game in your home language. There's still a chance they'll be able to come through with translations, and they'll keep everyone informed. Production of Tanares adventure game should be wrapping in the next 2 weeks. Pickup, I assume they mean from the factory to the boats, will start next week and finish in November. We got some obligatory factory shots and a mini shot to keep our thirsts quenched. They do a quick deep dive into how difficulty in the game will be handled through a quest called the Kemet Hunt. The more rounds of the hunt you do, the harder the Kemet will hunt you in return. For the RPG, they're making final adjustments to the subclasses. They're asking what type of balancing players would prefer. Check out the update to explore the 2 options they're discussing. The Okko Chronicles Cycle of the Earth dropped their last 2 core box scenario updates. The Siege of the Scarlet Fort includes a dangerous war machine players must destroy before the walls crumble. The Battle of the Jade Caves will see the players attempting to seal the dark passage that the Nemesis has been using to reinforce his numbers throughout the core game. Teburu and the Bad Karmas crew have returned victorious from Spiel. They ran a ton of demos with players fighting against Ares and got quite a few new late backers that were just hearing about the project for the first time, and everyone seems to have had a blast. They were also able to meet with several publishers and brands to further develop partnerships and the future of Teburu. They also began teasing the next Teburu game at their booth. Vampire Masquerade Milan Uprising is officially coming soon. On the production side, they're showing off another batch of red wax minis, and they're getting closer to approval for the production molds to be made. Late pledging is coming to an end sometime around mid-November. They also provide a helpful chart to show progress in all areas of the hardware and game production. Zerywia is back, and sadly it's not the good news we've all been hoping for. It's not terrible either. The company that created the shipping boxes for the Whole Eater add-on for the first Kickstarter campaign no longer exists. They've run out of these boxes and are delaying shipping while they attempt to find someone new to produce them. Things will be back to normal soon. Production on the reprint is starting up with the models. Cards, boards, and boxes will start in early 2023. Late pledging is extended until the end of November. Hopefully they'll be done shipping the first campaign soon and can turn their eyes fully to the reprint. Finally, an update for Aeons End Past and Future. It's not like they haven't been communicating, I'm just impatient and want to start playing now. Production is continuing according to plan. They're showing off some of the production samples. These are placeholders and not anything close to what you'll receive, but they give you an idea at least. Hopefully in the next update we'll be hearing that production is complete. Steamforge is continuing its teasing leading up to the launch of the Elden Ring board game. They published a wonderful design diary that gets into how they're trying to keep true to the video game and its fans. The diary goes into some great detail on how the game will play and how they're translating the core game experience to the tabletop. Oh, and they also dropped a few shots of some awesome minis we can look forward to. Read the diary for yourself at the link in the video description. Nemesis Lockdown language version shipping is still continuing, but at a slower pace than Awakened Realms would like. For the EU hub, around 450 parcels still need to go out. At the Canadian hub, they were not able to start shipping as they have a few projects backlogged. They're working on getting more firm information from the hub. Frosthaven news is looking good. They have some important updates and announcements coming before the end of the year. You can follow the Miniatures of Gloomhaven campaign on Backerkit if you haven't already. For international freight, they're booking containers like crazy. North American's containers have landed and are on their way to the hubs, which should put them arriving November 7th and 11th. A wave of Canadian orders will be processed first from the US hub and sent out, and then the US orders will be shipped. Shipping to Canada was done this way to avoid extra customs and duties. Stormsunder is back with some goodish news. They're down to 12 masters that need some tweaking for Wave 1. Plastic components are now being produced. Of note for the printed component side, they've been testing, editing, and filling in missing art. They'll be showing off the new map system with the next update. The fulfillment start date is a bit fluid at the moment, but there's still some hope it could begin in April of 2023. Nova Aetas Renaissance was the last to squeak into this news week before the cutoff. As with minigames, NAR was available for play at Spiel and well received. This update focuses on Altair, the melee DPS for your party. Complete with his hidden blade and the robes of the Creed, he looks like he just walked out of the game. We also got an updated timeline chart for Wave 1 that puts fulfillment happening in May and June of 2023. In retail news, we saw 2 new HeroQuest expansions released this week. The core and both expansions are available on Amazon for a decent discount currently. The Rogue Heir of Elethorn is a bit smaller than some of the recent expansion packs, but it seems to pack a punch. The Mage of the Mirror expansion will see you playing a courageous elf who must confront the diabolical archmage, Sinestra, and save Princess Melandriel. Atomic Mass Games has revealed Marvel Crisis Protocols rules for Pyro from the Blob and Pyro set. Pyro's flame game is spot on and ready to heat up the battlefield with moves like Flame Jet, Inferno, and Fire Manipulation. Sadly, this set has not yet released. It'll be available sometime this fall. This week for Star Wars Legion, we saw the release of Din Djarin and Grogu. We also got the IG series Assassin Droid pack. Now where's our Grogu-toting assassin droid? Alrighty then, that's a wrap on news for this week. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but be sure and let me know in the comments if I did. We'll be back next week with an unboxing for Dungeon Crusade, campaign guides for some awesome games that are launching this week, and even more new videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks to everyone watching and commenting. If you want to keep the conversation alive, head over to our Discord that's linked in the video description. Thanks again, and play something fun tonight.